Hardwick from Sales Xceleration. If you didn't happen to notice some of the exciting announcements through Authentic Brands LinkedIn channels and email, we just kicked off a national strategic alliance with Sales Xceleration. Many of you already know Sales Xceleration because they are the national leader and pioneer in the space of fractional sales leadership and coaching and helping to strengthen sales process and infrastructure for growing businesses. That's obviously a very strong complement to what Authentic Brand does as fractional CMOs, chief marketing officers, doing much of the same work in the marketing seat. So we've had a lot of synergies between our two businesses over the years, and it only made sense to formally bring that together so we can serve you better with full front end fractional solutions for your business. So if you've got a question about either of those things, Jim and I are here for you. Jim is one of Sales Xceleration's longtime advisors, so he still actively is working with clients, but he also is their chief community officer and is working in the partnership with Authentic Brand. So we invited him here today to share with you 5 key ways to be strengthening and building sales, or at least I think that's what your topic is, Jim, but feel free to take it in whatever direction. You're going to get a lot of value out of learning from Jim today, and I know he'd be happy to be connected with you ongoing. So Jim, I'm going to turn the virtual microphone over to you and invite you to take the stage, and there you go.
Thanks, Jennifer. It's great to be here. I'm not talking about 5 things for sales. What I'm talking about is sales have been slow for a lot of businesses today. A lot of people are experiencing that. And what do you do when you have sales that are slow? How do you fix that? How do you hold your salespeople accountable?
My name's call. I'm gonna hear it.
Yeah. Oh, I want to invite everybody to be on mute while Jim is speaking, so we don't have that overlay.
No problem. The life of Zoom, right? And so my name is Jim Hardwick, as Jennifer said. I've been in sales for 40 years. And I was in healthcare for many, many years. And now I'm with Sales Xceleration, having the most fun I've ever had in my life. And I want to talk about when sales are slow, do we just go, it's excuse. There's always ways to make excuses for sales are slow. But if you're truly a professional salesperson, you're going to figure out what you need to do and how you're going to do it. And it's also important for leadership to hold the salespeople accountable. Accountability in the sales team for small to mid-sized businesses is one of the deaths of sales. I see it constantly. When sales are slow, meet with your sales team. Acknowledge that they're slow. Don't put your head in the sand or walk around frustrated. Get together, have a meeting, and acknowledge it. And then sit down, review your pipeline. We all have sales pipelines, or they should have a sales pipeline. If they're not, you need to start working on a sales pipeline. That's a whole nother discussion. But is their pipeline real? Do they know what a true opportunity is? If people are just putting in stuff pipeline just so they keep leadership off their back, nobody's holding them accountable for the pipeline. So what's going to close? What's not going to close? You should always have a sales pipeline. Something that I encourage, this is very, very effective when it's slow. I tell business owners, leaders of companies, take a look at your top 20 clients, your top 20 people that you do business with. Pick up the phone, call them, and thank them for the business. Okay, it seems like, well, that's simple. Absolutely. Very few people take the time to thank their best clients. You're not calling them to sell. You're calling them to thank you for the business, to check on them and see how they're doing. I tell my business owners, be prepared for a 5-minute to a 60-minute phone call. You're going to be amazed the information you get. And quite often, very often, it's going to trigger something in their brains, the people that you're calling, saying, oh, by the way, I have an opportunity I want you to talk to you about. Man, we were talking about you yesterday. Let's talk about this next proposal, contract, service that we're doing. Let's talk. It just sets you apart from everybody else that's out there. The owners of businesses, presidents of companies, people look up to them. And what happens is owners get so involved in working on the business, they don't take the time to work on the business. When you call and talk to your top 20 clients, you're going to now be working on the business, and it's going to have a huge impact, which creates customers for life. If you're in it for a long time, build those relationships. Upsell. Call your happy customers and talk to them about new products. 72% of salespeople who upsell say that it drives up to 30% of their revenue. You're already there. They already love you. You've already paid your dues. Now tell them what else you have. What other products, what other services? Go and encourage them to get more business. I go back to hold your salespeople accountable. Here's an example. I have a client. They hired a salesperson, paid him a $100,000 base with no commission. That is the worst comp plan in the world, but it's the best comp plan for a salesperson because they never have to get out of bed. There's no incentive, right, to get out of bed at $100,000. He also, this owner, did not hold that salesperson accountable. So if they weren't given a lead, they didn't go out and cultivate their own business. You don't have salespeople that, I always say monkeys can close a warm lead or hot lead. And I'm a salesperson, so I can make fun of my industry, but anybody can close a hot lead. You want salespeople that are driven, that are out there, that are hunters. And therein lies a problem with a lot of organizations. You hire the wrong people. You have the wrong people in the wrong seats. You've hired a farmer and you want a hunter. And you can't understand why they're not making calls, why they're not going after business, and they're not hungry to slay the dragon. And you're frustrated. Guess what? They're frustrated because they hate their job. I have a client that they had a person, this is inside sales. She would get calls, and if she didn't close it on that call, she would never follow up, ever follow up. This went on for 5 years. I started working with them. I got wind of this. And so I let we also did a personality assessment and realized she's more of a customer service person, not a salesperson. So she wouldn't call. And so there was uncovered that was 50 leads that were outstanding, that opportunity to close. And so the owner called her into her office on Thursday and said, you will on Friday spend all time going after these 50 opportunities that are out there. She called in sick on Friday. Why? That's not her aptitude. She can't stand doing that follow-up call. The owner took those 50 leads, gave them to 2 other inside salespeople. Within an hour, they had closed 10 of those leads. I share that story because this person had been in that seat for 5 years. Due to lack of accountability, think how many thousands of dollars that left that were spent on Google ads and no follow-up. That person was put into another seat in collections, which is insane that now she's in collections. She's killing it. She's doing the best job. They're the 1% now on the collection outstanding for 60 and 90. She found her sweet spot. Getting the right people in the right seats is critical. You have to do that. Salespeople do 2 things: what you tell them to do and what you pay them to do. We're very simple creatures. We're not complex. And so if it's a slow time, if it's slow, create an incentive. Get something outside the box. Get some momentum. Get some encouragement. They're already going to be working on commission, and they probably have a base salary, but do something different that they haven't seen that can create some momentum and create some excitement. Because if you're on the spiral, if everybody's walking down, slow, sales are slow, and I'm not going to make my number, and it just breeds on itself. Change it up. You've acknowledged it, create an incentive, and get them engaged. Revisit old opportunities. When you go and visit somebody or you make a call, maybe that's not the right time, but you have a list of those people that said no. Go back, make the call, and ask them and encourage, tell them what you have new. Touch base with them. We talked about that a few months ago. I don't think the time was right. Would you be interested in this now, this product, this service? It's amazing. They're already on your list. Follow up. We have list. One of the things to do is salespeople have quotas. A lot of small, mid-sized businesses, they don't have quotas, which is also an issue, it's a whole other discussion. But set many goals in the day. Set many parameters that you can accomplish so you feel success. I'm going to give you an example. My son in college sold books door to door, 12 hours a day. It's got to be one of the worst jobs in the world. And you talk about hearing no over and over and over again. And if he could make 2 or 3 sales a day, that was a darn good day. So imagine getting up and being out there at 8 o'clock, knocking on doors in Atlanta, Georgia, with humidity about 470 and being told no all day long. You just hit a wall. So he would call me and say, Dad, I'm struggling. And I'd say, Tyler, let's break it down. What are you going to do in the next hour? What are you going to do after that next hour? And this would be like at 9 in the morning. And I'd say, you call me back at 12. Let's talk about what just happened. And then let's get through the next hour. You break it down in increments. You can eat an elephant one bite at a time. It's hard to eat it all at once. So make the goals, understand, especially when it's slow. We're going to make, if we're used to making 6 calls a day, today we're making 9. Can everybody get behind that? Absolutely. You can say, well, 9's feasible. I can do that. It's slow. I've got time to make 9 calls. I've only used to be making 4 or 5, but I need to make 9. That can be a big difference. The other thing salespeople should do is we have a tendency to, at the end of the day, you have a choice. Continue making 1 or 2 more calls or call it a day. My experience is when I was a rep years ago, I was traveling the Pacific Northwest. I'd be in the parking lot of a hospital, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. I had one sales devil on this side say, go home. And I had the sales angel on this side saying, get out of the car and get in there and make a sale. And you're tired. It's been a long week. And I forced myself to get out of the car. Every single time I went in, it was the best call of the week. It's doing that extra, pushing yourself that extra, make that 1 more call, those 2 more calls. It's going to make a huge impact on the overall, the way you feel about your day. And more than likely, it's going to be your best sale. People don't want to work as hard as they should. We're an easy society. And so perseverance is huge. Seek referrals from your best clients. The world is based on referrals. You have to, ask them. We think of referrals, well, that's what insurance salespeople do. Well, absolutely. They figured it out a million years ago. It works for any type of sales. If you've got somebody, I don't know your business or what you're doing, but if you have clients that love you, say, do you know of anybody else that could use this product, or I could meet, or somebody in your network that could use our services? At Sales Xceleration, 95% of our business is based on referrals. And so by the time I get in front of a client, I never have to talk about my past, my history, who I am. All I'm doing is I'm doing discoveries to see what their issues are, if I want to work for them, and if I can help them. And I can typically close a Sales Xceleration engagement in the first meeting. Why? Because the referral is a trusted person by that client. They have a relationship. So by the time I walk in, if Bill said that I do a great job and he's observed it, it's very easy for me to come in and just build that rapport, let them know what I can do, and close the deal. Use referrals. And then lastly is take a look at your clients. When's the last time, and this can increase profitability very quickly. When's the last time you took your top 25 clients and evaluated their profitability? A lot of people don't do that. Oh my gosh, we've got this client. They're amazing. Let's just say we sell to Microsoft. It's amazing we sell to Microsoft. We do $1 million with Microsoft a year. really? Okay. Have you looked at their profitability? And then you come to find out you had to bid it so low and you've never raised their prices the last 2 years. You're losing money on Microsoft. That's a scary thing. If you let Microsoft go tomorrow, you just increase your profitability as a whole. Plus, they're probably taking 2 or 3 people to run that account that could be doing something different. Now, if Microsoft strategically, you need them from a marketing perspective to say that we do Microsoft and it creates credibility, that's a whole different discussion. But when you find those clients that you're upside down on and you didn't even realize it, you meet with them and you explain to them, hey, we value your business. We've enjoyed our partnership. We've enjoyed our relationship. However, we can't afford to do what we've been doing at the margins we are at. We're going to give you a price increase. 1 or 2 things are going to happen. They're going to value your service and respect your relationship, and they're going to accept that price increase. Bam, you just increase profitability without selling them one more thing. And then everything you sell after that, it's higher profit. Or they're going to tell you, I'm going to look elsewhere. You also won, because now you're not losing money any longer. It's a win-win. Win-win. So you can't lose. So I highly encourage you that. And it's okay to fire a client. Just because they're buying from you doesn't mean it's good business. I know that's so fundamental, but people don't take the time to do that. Trust me, if you do and analyze that and truly understand what your profitability is. Also, if we all have those pain in the rear customers, the ones that drive every single person in your organization nuts, and you spend so much time on them, set some ground rules, folks. You need to go meet with them and say, we can't continue to do it this way. You can't call my people up and badger them and yell at them and da. Set some guardrails. And if they want to hear, they're gone. Life's too short. You got to protect your people. So I could go on for 7 years about sales and what you need to do. But hopefully, my goal is always when I talk, 1 or 2 of these things can resonate with you. I will also say, if you have a question, if you want to follow up, don't hesitate to get a hold of me. I give away free advice. I love helping other people be successful. And that's what I do. I am not here to sell anybody anything. I am busy, but I love, if I can help lift your boat, we all win. So it's all about serving others, and I'm here to help. So thank you for your time today, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.